Hi everyone. This is Sai from Let's Upgrade. So let's talk about how to get your certificate. It's very simple. You will see two links in the description. Number one is the place where you have to go and mark your attendance. Marking your attendance tells us like, okay, you are a legit student who have attended this particular session. Link number two is your assignment. This is where your 90% of the priority is. You have to go and submit the assignment that is given to you in this particular session. Once you're done submitting that assignment, we will be evaluating that. We will send you an email. If you get the passing criteria, then only we will give you the certificate on a particular date that is mentioned again in the description. Please check these three things, and this is the way how you will get a certificate from Let's Upgrade. Number one, mark your attendance. Number two, just go ahead and upload your assignment. Check for the email that you have received it, yes or no. What is the feedback that you have received from your trainer? Number three, check on which date the certificates will be released. Thank you. Bye. All the best. Happy learning.
Hello everyone, this is Urvashi Singla, your instructor for SQL Bootcamp. So I'll give you a brief about myself. So I'm born and brought up in Chandigarh. I started my career as a web developer, then kind of switched into trainings, and I have total 8+ years of experience as web developer and trainer. And currently I'm working as a principal instructor, and I have worked with 24 plus edtech companies nationally and internationally. And my major skills are Stack and GenAI integrations, and I also help candidates with mock interviews and interview prep. So that's a bit about me. Now let's deep dive into databases today. So first of all, I'm going to talk about what are databases. Okay, so before we actually get into SQL, okay, so we'll try to understand this term called databases. Then we will see what is SQL. So now you guys can imagine, let's say if I open any website, let's say e-commerce, let's say Amazon.in. So you can think of any domain like say healthcare, media tech, space tech, any healthcare related domain, any domain you can think of. Okay. All this data you see. For example, if I'm talking about e-commerce domain, so you can think of Amazon. Okay. And in Amazon, all the user data. Okay. You can think of all the product data, all the product details. Okay, from where all this data is coming. Okay, all this data comes from database. You can think of employee management system. Okay, employee management, let's say I'm an employee of a company, for example. So I will have my system where I can go and check my details about myself. Okay, so all the employee data, you can think of all the employees data. Then you can think of healthcare. In healthcare, you can think of patient data. You can think of doctors data. Okay, so point is where this data is getting stored. All this data, at the end of the day, data is the king. Okay, all this data gets stored inside databases, stored in databases. Okay, you can go to any domain. We can also think of media tech, like media tech. Okay, like your OTT platforms, for example Netflix. Okay, in Netflix you can think of movie data. Okay, TV series data. Okay, you can think of let's say Prime Videos. Okay, in Prime Videos you can think of again movie data. Okay, then user data, who is going to use, right? You all buy the subscription of it, so user data. Okay, so at the end of the day, where all this data will go and stored, all this data will go and store inside some database. This is the reason we need databases. Okay, this is the meaning of database, like where you will need this to store all this data. In every domain you need to store this data, and all that data will go and store in some database. Okay, this is the reason you need database, to store all this data. For example, this product is there, I'll click on it and you can see product data, right? This, let's say if I click on, let's say this category, okay, you can see all the products. So all this product name, product price, product discount value, its prime verified, how many people have bought, all this data is stored in some database. Okay, and then we are getting it and displaying it in UI. Now you can think of mobile application as well. Okay, you can think about social media. I think everyone uses Facebook, everyone uses Instagram, right? So in that you can think of all your reels data, all your carousel, okay, user data, user image, user bio, right? Any link you have added. So all this data, where it's going and stored, okay? You can think of your cover image. All image is also a data. All this data will go and store in some database. Okay, let me just remove this part and I'll mark this complete as complete data. So all this data will go and store in some database. Now next question comes, how can I store the data? Okay, that is types of databases. Next thing is what are the types of databases we have? Okay, so we have different type of databases. For example, SQL. So that's called your relational databases. Relational databases. Okay, which in which we use SQL, which is our today's bootcamp. SQL. So here SQL stands for structured query language. Okay, I'm not going into SQL right now. I'll firstly quickly discuss the different type of databases we have. So we have relational database, we have non-relational databases as well, and we can also call these as NoSQL. Okay, they are also called NoSQL. Okay, for example, MongoDB is there. Okay, DynamoDB is there. Then we have different, let's say we have graphical databases. They all come under NoSQL only, graphical databases. Then we have hierarchical databases. Then we have something called vector databases. You know, if all your data, let's say if you guys search, you all use AI tools like ChatGPT, Claude, then you all must be using Gemini, right? So especially right now when your ChatGPT is free, for Go version is free for a year, I hope everyone must be using it. So let's say when you search something or ask something from ChatGPT, right? How their data is stored? Their data is stored like a vector databases. Okay, so that's why it's going to process huge amount of. So whenever you want to process or store huge data like big datas, we can use vector databases there. So this is the overview about different type of databases we have. So our today focus is going to be SQL, so I'll stick to that. Okay, so we'll discuss on this part, like how to work with SQL, how to work with SQL. Okay, and what is SQL? So SQL is structured query language. Structured means a proper structured format, a proper schema would be there in which you can store the data. Okay, I'll take SQL out of it. Okay, I'll take SQL out of it and we'll discuss on that. Now we are deep diving into SQL concept. So what is SQL? Let me write it again. Structured query language. Query language. Okay, so if you want to store all the data that I've mentioned at the top, if you want to store all these data, these very type of data in your database, then you can definitely go with SQL. Okay, now how it stores data in the form of table, like a table, you know, like this, a table. For example, I want to store user data. So what will happen? I will store user data here. What is table? Table is created from what? Rows and columns. This is exactly what you will get here. So this is called your row and this is called your columns. Okay, so let's say if I have user table, so what data will come inside user table? User ID. Okay, always remember, whenever you're creating any table for any category, let's say user ID for example, so there is always going to be one unique identifier that we call as primary key. Okay, why we need it? Just think about it. In you know, you can think of it like university. In university, what is that unique identifier that defines you? Your name can be duplicated, right? Two people can have the same name, but your university ID or college ID is always unique. So if you go to any department, let's say you go to auditorium, you go to cafeteria, you go to sports department, right? What makes you unique? Okay, how they identify, or what is the first thing they will ask you? They will ask you for your ID, university ID or college ID. That is the first thing they will ask you. So just like that here, if you are creating user table, then user ID will be that unique identifier. Okay, for example, in Amazon, okay, in Amazon, if you think all these products have some product IDs, if I'm creating an account on Gmail, on Facebook, I have my unique user ID there as well. Okay, you need a unique identifier to identify that record, because the name can be duplicated, right? I know email can be, but you can't, let's say in every domain you don't have email. Okay, so ID is that we define that ID is what we create in our database so that it is uniquely will identify that data. Okay, that's your primary key. And it is that unique identifier ID, whatever you are creating, it's called primary key. Okay, now user can have name, user can have age data, user can have, let's say, some address, user can have some image, okay, and user can have maybe a order history details. Now, here, let's say data will come, IDs will come, and some name, all this data will be filled. Okay. Now, you can think of another table, let's say product. So, now if I'm creating a product table, you can think of any e commerce website. So, I will also include PID, let's say product ID. Okay. So, these are called your column names, which we can define. Okay. There is no compulsion. Whatever you want to define, you can keep product name, product price, product discount. Okay, like this we can have description and so on. A lot of table columns can be added here. So this is how it is going to come here. Now if I go here, so I can have this ID. So like I told you, one ID has to be there, unique identifier, okay, which we call as primary key. Okay, so that one unique key in your table is called primary key. Okay, rest all you can fill all your data. Okay, all the data will come. So this is what we call as, so SQL stores that user data or product data that you see here in the UI like this. It is stored basically in the form of tables if you're using SQL. So these are called tuples. So column names are called tuples. Okay, then you have columns. Okay, row is basically row itself. Okay, and here table is what we call as the way the data is stored. So you can think of employee data, order history data, user data, user address details. We can have a different table for that. Okay, so this is how you store the data. We will be doing it. We will be seeing how to create this table, how to store the data. I'll be showing you guys everything line by line today. Okay, but before I write the code, that clarity has to be there, like how or what format the data is stored. So whenever you go to any database, let's say SQL, NoSQL, Vector, this is exactly what you need to learn, that this database store data in what format. So SQL stores data in the form of table. Firstly, we need to create what table schema. That is the first thing we have to define. Schema is nothing but this first row that you have to define, like what columns are going to be there in my table. Okay, so there are few queries. So now what we call it as structured query language. So there are some queries that we have to write. Okay, for example, how to create a table, how to insert data in a table. Okay, how to delete something in a table. That is what we are going to see very first. Okay, then after deleting something from the table, I will show you how to update something from the table. Okay, how to filter the data, how to sort the data. Okay, so these are called your basic queries that I'm going to show you first. Then I'll go to some medium queries. Okay, then I'll go to some advanced queries. Okay, this is what we are going to do today. So basic query will be this. Then medium level, I'll show you basically lim where, okay, like having and joins. This is what I'll teach you next. Okay, and then advanced level pay, we will see some subqueries. We'll see subqueries. Okay, this is what we are majorly going to see today. Okay, so let's start with some basic queries first. Okay, so now whatever I've said, okay, I have documented it as well in this PPT. I'll show you guys. Here you can see like introduction to databases we have seen, SQL basics theoretically we have discussed. Now we will see all of it. Okay, so there are different type of databases, and even in SQL to work with different databases, there is Oracle, there is SQL Server, Postgres, and MariaDB. Okay, so even so SQL is what you have picked. Now to work with SQL, where you will write the code, okay, you have to pick one type of RDBMS, Relational Database Management System. Okay, so one of them you have to pick, but today we are not going to pick that. We will do like whatever coding we have to do, we will do you do it on online editor. Okay, so we are going to use this DB Fiddle to do the coding part. Otherwise, once you have learned the basics, SQL today, after that you guys can go back and pick any SQL database, and then you can work around with it. Okay, like MariaDB you can go with, Postgres you can go with. Okay, but for now, this you just need to know that to work with SQL databases or to implement SQL databases, you have so many RDBMS, relational database management systems. Okay, now this is just a real life analogy, like in a banking and finance system, transaction management and fraud detection, where you can use SQL. In e-commerce like Flipkart and Amazon, you can, for inventory, for order, for customer management, you can use store the data in SQL format. Then for patient records and appointment scheduling, you can use it in healthcare. In education itself, student performance metrics, student certificates, for example, you all will be submitting the assignments right after this. So in today's session, in the end, I will be giving you guys one assignment, right? You have to fill the attendance, and then you have to fill the assignment to get the certificate, right? So what we will be doing in that, in the end, I'll give you guys one assignment, and then that assignment, once you submit, you will be evaluated, right? So your performance metrics, student details, everything will be required. So there, how you can store the data. Even Let's Upgrade, you guys can check that out. In Let's Upgrade itself, you will see a lot of upcoming bootcamp details is there. Okay, if you see in the landing page, so all this data is also stored in some database, and we are getting it in UI and displaying it. Okay, so let's say it's stored in the form of table for a upcoming bootcamp table, like that. Okay, now these are some CRUD operations that we have. Okay, create, read, we will see all of it today first, and then this is the online editor I'm going to use. Also, there is one main assignment that I will give you, which will give you the certificate, but in between also today I'll give you guys some practice tasks, okay, which you can practice, and then finally I'll give you the assignment. So till the time it's opening. Okay, so now it has opened. Now let's start. Okay, so this, just to make you guys familiar with this, even we are using this online editor, but it is also using MySQL, which I've mentioned here. Okay, so you can have MySQL as well. MySQL. So okay, so these are different type of SQL databases. Okay, so here also, team, I am using this editor. This editor is also using MySQL at the end of the day. Okay, so in the backend, you can imagine MySQL is the database that is being run. Okay, and SQL is what I'm writing to store the data in the form of table and work around with the data. Okay, so here on the left side, we will do all the create table, insert the data, all that query will do on the left side. And on the right side, we will do all the retrieval related queries. Okay, for example, I want to get the table data, so all those queries I'll do on the right side. Okay, once I'll write, you will also know which query I'm writing on the right and which query I'm writing on the left. Okay, so let's start how to create a table. So it's very simple. Create table. So all this is a language. SQL is basically a language, so all the syntax and everything is predefined. Okay, so you just need to remember it. So create table, table name. Okay, so the way I read it, I'll read it in the same way. For example, if I have to tell create table, students is my table name, so this is how I read it. Create table, table name. Okay, then you have to define table schema, which I just mentioned here. Table schema. So table schema is nothing but defines what tuples, what main columns are going to be there. Okay, so you have to define in schema. What we decide is we have to define column name and the data type. These are the two things you have to define here. One is column name and one is data type. Okay, now if you want to go and explore in detail, so I'll just write here SQL data types. Okay, so you can go and check integer, string, decimal. Okay, all this data will come here. How to store data, date. So you have to define these two things. This is your table schema where you define what columns possibly will come and their data type. This is what you need to define. Okay, for example, I told you every table you create, make sure there is some unique identifier like ID. Okay, now name of the column could be anything. For example, this name like ID I've kept, I can keep it anything. I can keep it SID, I can keep it ID, anything you can keep. Okay, then you have to define the data type, let's say int. Then you have to define, let's say it's a primary key, primary key. Okay, now primary key, why we have to define, like I told you, now I can have multiple, like I can do this also, I can have SID also, right? Because this is the table I am creating. Now how they will know like this is the that unique identifier, this is that one column which will uniquely identify my table data. So that's where primary key is always that one table will have only one primary key, one table can have only one unique identifier. Okay, so even if you are creating, let's say SID for storing some ID data, primary key will tell me like this is my unique identifier. Okay, so one table can have only one primary key, and this is that one column that which is the primary key that will define it's a unique in this table, and it's going to be unique identifier. Okay, as I'll go ahead, you will know more about this primary key. Okay, for now I have created this ID as primary key. You can have more ID, but primary key can only be one. Varchar, let's say varchar is one of the data type, variable and characters both can come, and like a string can also come, number can also come, and 50 is like the maximum length it can have. I can have one word or one character name or three character name, or I can have 50 character name as well. Okay, so let's say age would be int. Okay, and then I'll say a course, let's say varchar. So your initially only time will go inside, go or invest in creating these table. That's it. Okay. Once you have created, once you have inserted, the only work is to see what queries I can perform on this data. City, let's say varchar 50. Okay. So now you all can see if I run this, okay, my table should be created. If I click on run, the table should be created. So now this SQL has successfully executed. Okay, so that means my table is created. Okay. Now once you have created the table, as you can see on the right side, your next task is to insert the data in the table. Okay, that's the next thing you have to do. So how to insert data in a table? Okay, so this is how you can insert into, again, table name, which is students. Okay, it's case sensitive. So if S is capital, you have to use S capital here. Now, what I'll do here, one thing, ID is something which we want to come automatically. Okay, so it's optional. Okay, you can also define it if you want, but if you put here auto increment, what will happen? Automatically the ID will be created. Automatically the ID will be created. So if I run this, okay, now again I'm running, so table now it will have auto increment as well. Okay, now once I'm inserting the data here, ID will come automatically, means automatically one will come, two will come. So as you create the, let's say if I create 10 rows in this table, so 10, that 1 2 3 4 till 10, all the 10 IDs will come automatically. So ID column will be populated with the ID value automatically. That's auto increment. Okay, but for rest of the columns you have to define the value. So what column you need to define the value, that you will put here. For example, I'll say name, comma age, comma course, comma marks, comma city. So this is what you need to put here. Okay, value, so insert into table name. In round brace you have to pass the columns for which you're going to define the values, and then you can define round brace the values. Okay, for example, name I'll keep Alina, age I'll keep 20, course I'll say computer science, and city I'll say Chandigarh, or let's say Pune. Okay, this is what I have added here in the data. Comma. Now the number of rows you want, in one go you can put all the data. In one go you can put all the data. For example, I'll keep Isha, age I'll keep 19, Course, I'll say data science, and here I'll just put Mumbai, comma. I'll insert one more. I'll say, let's say Rohit, age is 16, courses, let's say web development. So students table means students data will come. Okay. And I'll keep it as Pune. Then I'm going to add one more. Let's say Neha, 20, data science, and I'll keep it Mumbai. Let's add one more. Okay. Let's add Karan. Let's say 22. Okay, age, let's keep around 18 only. Web development. And here I'll keep Pune. Okay, so this is what I have added as data. So this is how you insert the data. Okay, so insert into students the table name, then columns, because ID will come automatically, so I don't have to define a value for that. Rest all I have. So whatever column you want to define value for, comma separated in round brace will come. Values, whatever value. So just make sure it's mapped properly. Like name is mapped with this, age is mapped with this. See, I've marks table, marks column, and I've missed it. So we have to insert marks as well. So I'll keep it, let's say 85, 86 here, and here I'll keep 85. Okay, so see, so name is mapped with name, age is mapped with age, course is mapped with course, and city is mapped with city. But I missed marks, so now I'm going to add marks. So this you have to take care very well. Let's say 90. Okay, so this is what I've added, or let's keep it 70. Okay. So this is what I have added in the table. Okay. And whatever data type I define, like integer, int means integer. So I'm keeping it as integer. Wherever I've defined varchar, you have to put it in strings, double quotes or single quotes. Okay. And I'm going to put it here and I'll say run. So now you can see this query has also successfully run. Okay. Now we have created a table. We have inserted the data in the table. Okay. Now what is our next task? Next task is to add these or perform these queries. Okay, firstly I'll show you how to get the data from the table. Okay, how to select the data from the table. Let's keep it here, select. How to get, how to retrieve. So whatever data I have added, I want to see it. So those queries you will write on the right side part in this editor. Okay, so you will simply say select star from table name students, and you will click on run, and you will see all the data will come. So your ID, name, age, course, mark, city, everything is coming here. Okay, and this is looking good because all data is coming. Okay, now star means you will get all the data, all the columns. Okay, but let's say you don't want all, you want only name, ID, and course from students. You only want this. So you can put it like this. Select comma separated column names from, or you can call it as tuples from table name. You can do it like this also. Okay. And if you do control plus slash, it will comment the code. So I don't want to see first result. So just comment it out. So only this query will run. See, I'm getting only name and ID and the course. So if you want only specific columns at a time to retrieve the data, you can do that as well. Okay, now let's do some more things into it. Let's say I don't want all the rows. I want only those rows where marks is greater than, let's say, 85. I don't want all the data. I want only select. I want to select only name, ID, course, marks from students. This is what I want to select. I want to select name, ID, course, marks from students. Where? So you have to put where marks, the column name is greater than equal to 85. So only those columns, or let's say greater than 85. Okay, only those students whose marks is greater than 80, only those result will come. I'll comment it out. Okay, and we'll run only this query. And you can see I'm getting only, see, two students are there whose score is greater than 85. See, 86 and 90, only two students are there. So I'm getting only specific student data. Now related with the real time data, when our teacher have to create a report of the star students, right, generally greater than 90%, they just need to run this query and they will get the data. Now just imagine in a class you have almost 100 students in college, or you have 80 students at least in a college or a university, right? So they can just run this query and they will get the data. It is so easy. Okay, one more thing, you can run multiple queries together also. Okay, you will get the result. Let's say first table result is this and second table result is this. Okay, I'm just commenting out so that when you see the output, you see the fresh query result. That's it. Okay, so now this is how you can put where. So this is where is basically for filter. So what I'm doing here, I'm filtering the data based on marks. Okay, like in Amazon, if you guys see, you can filter the data, right? You can, in Amazon, you can filter the data based on price, based on discounts, just like that you're doing it through SQL query. This is going to be your filter. You can do more as well. You can put all this also, and you want to be very specific. Let's say name is equal to Elena, so you want that student name is equal to Elena and their mark should be greater than 85. So you want that student whose name is Elena and mark should be greater than 85. Okay, so you can do and as well. See, you will get one student data. You can put or also. Or means any student whose name is Elena or marks is greater than 85. Okay, so you can put this and or as well. I'll copy this and paste it here. So you guys can go and try all of it. I'll just comment it out for now. The next we have is sort. Okay, I hope it's all clear by now. Next we have is sort. Means, you all must have seen, you want to sort the data. Like if you go to any product list, okay, you want to sort the data based on price. Let's say here, I want to sort this data based on low to high, high to low, based on new arrival. So that's called sorting. Okay, so we can also do it. Okay, we can also sort the data. So let's say here I'll say select. So whichever column you want to see in output, so that column you select. I want to see ID, I want to see marks, and I want to see course. Order from students, then which table, of course. Order by. So here I will just say, let's say, ascending. Ascending. Okay, so select ID means select these three columns from the students, order by ascending. Okay, now here you have to mention just one more thing, the column. Let's say based on what, let's say which column you want to order, let's say marks table. Okay, so now if I run this, you will see based on marks, see ascending order. So lowest marks column is row is coming first, then 80, then 85, 86, and 90. So now I want to see these three in the output from the students table. Order by marks, order by marks in ascending. So marks will be ordered in ascending order. Similarly, you can do descending also. So if I run both the queries, you will see one table, you will see ascending order marks. See, ascending order, and in this table 90 is coming at the top. That is your descending order. Okay. Then next we have is limit. Limit means you don't want to see all the results. Okay. So I'll just do this only. I will do this descending order. I will order my data descending. You can do descending based on course as well. Let's do it on course. Okay. It's not just only numerical or integer column values you can do. You can do order by on any alphabetical order as well. Okay. So alphabetical descending means it will start from Z. So select, I want to see ID marks course from students, order by course name. Okay. Descending order, I'll say limit 2. So now what will happen? Only 2 results will come. So the number of limit you will put only 2 results. See, only 2. If you don't put limit, then all will come, right? Then all the data will come. See, all the rows will come. See, right now all are coming. Now if I put limit here, limit 2, only 2 will come. So it's like limiting the data. So only 2 are coming. Okay. Now let me just do one thing. Let me just store it in some file. Okay. So that, let's say, SQ session.sql. Okay, so you can store all this code in .sql format. Okay, and I'll just create a copy of it, and I'll provide you all. Okay, you all will get it probably through the description. Okay, so now what I'll do here, I'll just wipe this code for a moment because we have already seen till here. So I've already saved it. I'll give you guys this code in the end through description. Okay, so next query we have is update. Table is same, data is same. Okay, so now I want to update. So update is very easy. Update we can do on the left side. Generally we do it on the left side in this editor. Okay, but even if you want to do it on right, you can do it. Okay, so here I'll just say update. I'll create a heading called update. I'll say update keyword, update table name. Okay, so whenever you guys practice, you should also read the way I'm reading. Like I'm not saying update students, I'm saying update table name. Okay, where set and where, these are the two terms you have to remember with update, set and where. So you have to first tell what you want to update. I want to say set marks column is equal to 95, and this is what I want to do. Now where you want to do it, where generally we prefer, I told you why we have created this id, the primary key, the unique identifier. The reason is, this is whenever you are doing this updation deletion, specifically these queries, this operation like updation and deletion, we prefer to go with changing things, or real time also we change based on these primary key id. Okay, because that is a unique, that no two, you can see this id is created automatically, no two row will have the same id. This is always going to be unique, that primary key. Okay, so this is the reason generally when you do updation and deletion in real time, we have it based on id. Also you can have multiple, like you can have name also, you can do, but generally real time cases comes based on id. So I'll just say set marks is equal to 95, where id column is equal to 5. Okay, now you can see the person with this 5 id is having right now 70 marks. Okay, and I am changing to this. Now if I run this, now you will see, okay, we are getting some, okay, I have added this wrong. Okay, now it has done. Now I will say select star from student. So data has updated. Okay, and I can just run select star from students, and now let's see. Now you can see wherever id 5 is there, see marks has changed to 95. When I initially created this for this current, here you can see the marks was 70. Now it has changed to 95. So data has been updated. You can have and also here, and you can have multiple conditions. Okay, then we have delete operation. Now delete is basically to delete. Again, delete is also done based on some generally from IDs. Okay, for example, I'll say delete. Now delete, you don't need what need to be done. You just need to tell where it is. Okay, so delete table name, delete from students, where let's say ID is equal to 3. Okay, ID is equal to 3. Or you can put a name also. You can say name is equal to Neha. Let's take one example from name. So I'll say name is equal to Neha. So wherever name will be Neha, that will be deleted. Okay, I'll just comment above one. I just want to see result for this. I'll run it. Now you can see name Neha. See Alina, Isha, Rohit, Karan. These four are coming. Neha is not coming. Neha record is deleted. So you can delete based on name also, any column, and you can put and condition also. Okay, so this is how you can delete it as well. Okay, now let me just copy this and paste it here in the end. So all this data is coming. Okay, so these are called your basic CRUD operations. Okay, where you can create the table, insert the data, and perform these queries. Okay, now before I go ahead with the medium level queries, I'll just give you guys quickly some main. This is not, again I'm repeating, this is not main assignment. This is just to make you guys feel comfortable what type of use case can come, okay, in real time through this task. Like you guys can go and try something like, get all the students data from Delhi where with marks above 80. You can find top two scorers, so you can sort the data and just by descending, and you can put limit here. Then you can sort the data by name, like ascending order. Okay, so these type of use cases that come, that you can perform by doing this task.